Welcome back, friends. Before we get started on the Overland Expo West 2023 adventure, I would like to share some local history presented by Regina of Trail Recon.
I have decided that we need to incorporate more information about the places we go instead of just driving through and doing some wheeling. I think it's great to learn about the places we go, the people who live there, the history of the places, because for me personally, it just makes our travel, our adventures, just a more richer experience. Fort Tuthill, if you look around, all of these buildings were used by the Arizona National Guard. And soldiers walked through here where we're standing now. They trained. These are young men who would eventually go on to France and fight in World War I and in World War II in the Pacific. And some of the men who walked through here didn't come home. So I think it's important to learn their history and honor that. One of the guardsmen who was stationed here fought in World War II. His name was Ronaldo Hernandez, and in January of 1944, he wrote a letter home. And I'd like to share with you what he wrote in that letter. So, on arrival, being chow time, I was told to go to the mess sergeant and get some chow. I took out my mess kit and headed downhill thinking I was gonna get a good meal. Boy, what a surprise I got. 3 K ration boxes, and I was told by the sergeant to get the hell out of there. So, poor kid, expecting a hot meal, gets basically MREs. So he says he leaned against a coconut tree and started to open one of the boxes when suddenly artillery shells were landing all around him. He had no foxhole, and God only knows what I should do. A guy yelled, "Over here, buddy!" Dove in and almost pushed the other guy out of his own foxhole. This kid Hernandez, and he was probably just a kid as most of the ones who fought in World War II were, he was somebody's son, probably somebody's brother, maybe somebody's sweetheart. I mean, I have a son right now who is serving in the Navy, and he's serving with the Marines. So he's been deployed a few times, fortunately on training missions. But I mean, just imagine being a parent and getting a letter like that. I mean, that kind of really brings it home, at least for me.
My most favorite thing to do at Expo is to meet other YouTubers and adventurers. And I met a few more on this trip.
I just wanted to tell you the one thing that stands out the most is it seems like every single trip you go on is like epic. I don't know how
That's what I try for.
I don't know how you do it.
Me too.
It's like I feel like you stay in the local area, but there's like so much.
British Columbia is huge, so like 90% of the province is public land, and a lot of that is old mining and logging roads that are no longer in service, so they're all overgrown or rough, or they just make for interesting wheeling and exploring. So that's the kind of stuff that I like to do.
Oh, thank you. It's refreshing for us to see somebody who's
So I might need a
yeah, just Montana kids trying to make it work. Don't let it go to your head. I think that's what everybody believes. Well, thank you. I asked him earlier, how long until he starts driving? He said 2 years.
Yeah, knew it right off the bat. 2 years.
Just so you know, 2 years.
Yeah, when he was 7 years, hey Dad, when you die, do I get X Overland? That's when he was 7 years old, so I've had my eye on him ever since.
The weather forecast predicted rain all weekend, but fortunately, the worst of it only happened on Friday. This downpour included hail because it got downright cold.
There's one thing working around here.
Luckily, the next class I signed up for was indoors. It provided tips and techniques to make video content tell a more captivating story.
This is going to be super basic, and I hope it's not too basic for you guys, but my point with all this is you don't need mega gear. You don't need all kinds of crazy lenses and stuff. You know, if you just want to get out there and start capturing your stuff, there's just a couple of tips that I'm going to recommend. I'm going to get solid, and I'm going to hit record for 10 seconds and hold it as still as possible, or use my tripod. See the whole room. This is my setting. This is where everybody lives. This is the kind of the story open, so to speak. A medium shot might be right up here. And this is my focus, right here. And now my tight shot is going to be this camera, right here. That's something that you can just always think of. It's wide, medium, and tight. And it's relative, because I could come here, and this is my wide shot, head to toe. That's my wide shot. That shot variety, that mix, again, is going to help propel your story. It's going to help make it interesting. And I'm going to show you guys a couple of super basic examples here of how that works. And when you put that together in a sequence, you're telling a story now. Zoom with your feet. A lot of cameras have zooms on them, and it's great to zoom in. And you know, you see something over there and you zoom in. Okay, fine. The trouble sometimes with zoom is on small cameras, especially like an iPhone, things like that, you're not really going to get that close to something. It's going to change your shot a little bit, but I like to say zoom with your feet. If you see something over there that's interesting, get close to it. Don't be afraid. Walk up to it. You know, get right up to whatever, somebody's changing a tire. Get in there. Here's just a basic example of wide, medium, and tight. So, wide shot, getting set up. Now I match that with a medium shot, and then there's the close-up. You can do the same thing here. It's not as wide, just there. There's the medium. Cut my head off, that's okay. And a tight shot. Okay, even tighter. We capture this 3D world and we slap it on a flat 2D screen. And it's hard to sometimes get that depth unless you know a couple of just easy techniques to build that depth into your shots. I didn't take this picture, this is a stock photo, but you can see what I'm talking about just in the stock photo. The leading line that kind of leads you down this hallway. You know, this angle that we've created that shows us that there's depth there. If you've ever seen this grid in your settings, and you're like, what the hell do I need that for? It's annoying, it's in my way, This is the idea of the rule of thirds. These lines basically giving you a guide to help you frame up your shot. These points of interest right here, these crosshairs, give you a guide of suggestion where to frame your shot. It's gonna be hard. Can you help me out for a second? So many times in family photos, you see this. Right. You know, I'm standing in the picture. But you know, they put the person's face right smack in the middle of the picture. This isn't darts. We're not going for a bullseye here, you know? This is right away, you can tell that's not, everybody knows that doesn't look good, right? It just doesn't look good. Now, come on.
How do you tell a story when you don't know what the story is?
Yeah, it's a good point. Sometimes the story reveals itself to you. And sometimes there isn't always a big story. You know, you can go out on a trail run. Just maybe it's just you, maybe it's your buddies, and maybe nothing huge happens. You know, you didn't have any recoveries. You didn't have a huge challenge to crawl over. But you got some good practice, you got some good shots, you did your sequencing, you did all that stuff, and then when you come home, you know what? We had a great day. I was grateful to be out there. It was a lot of fun. I had time with my buddy, and you can do it in a voiceover if you want. You know, it's not always going to be the next YouTube sensation. I shoot for myself. I don't have a YouTube channel. You know, there's a lot of other guys out on these grounds that will tell you different things. By no means the things that I told you today are hard and fast rules. A lot of those basic concepts are good, foundational photography. But I shoot for myself. And if I come home with something that I enjoy, then it makes me happy. If I put it out on YouTube and it gets some views, okay. But I know now, I told a good story to myself. And in a year or two, I can go back, 3 years or whatever, I can go back and say, I remember that day. That looked really good. That was a beautiful scene. And yeah, I gathered some good video that I'm happy to go back and watch and share with friends and family.
We were able to do a little shopping and sightseeing between classes. Here, Christy stepped away from her nursing skills to check out first aid, Overland style.
So that's good. So you can just do single servings.
Yeah.
And you can actually cook your main entree and your dessert at the same time.
Of course. Very versatile.
All right. Definitely. I want to get one of these.
Of course. Sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The main purchase on my list this trip was a new pair of tan Max Tracks to replace a set that were damaged.
The only thing I've ever used them for is to level out the Jeep.
Yeah.
And then I let some guy borrow them on the beach, and he did a little tire spin. But I mean, it's not terrible.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good deal. If you ever need a fridge slide, check out tortugaoffroad.com, tortugaoffroad@gmail.com, and give us an email. We'll give you a special, or tell you that you know us. And we're happy to help out fellow folks, Overlanders.
I didn't realize it at this point, but our theme for the weekend was going to revolve around cooking and meal planning. We found ourselves buying various cookbooks and attending a lot of cooking demonstrations. The climax would be an all-out battle of the Skottles in the KC Highlights booth on Saturday.
That is plenty. So, it's not half bad.
Chicken, ready pasta, cream of chicken soup, lemon juice, and garlic.
So those ready pastas, are they already soft?
They're fully cooked.
Thank you so much.
This looks like a periodic table going on right here.
They're from Spiceology.
Okay.
So that's kind of one of their things. Their spices are really good, but they kind of make everything look like a periodic table.
I guess to think about Spiceology, it better have some sort of
Yeah, right?
science
Do you
kind
want to
of.
smell it?
Yeah. It smells good.
Yeah, so it's like a kind of like a chili, like usually a dry rub on like Japanese different like you'll find it at sushis, you'll find it in ramens.
What I'm thinking of doing is we'll go through all those different resources real briefly, and then we'll do a demo cook and have some sample food for everybody. And they make small griddles too. I know Lodge makes them. Treat it. It's really poorly and it's still going to perform. And you don't have to worry about it.
I think that makes the biggest difference out of the flavors, whether you're getting the two different varieties.
And that's the thing. That's why I asked.
The biggest thing with these sandwiches is every time we make them, everyone asks for more cream babies. And we keep putting more and more on, and we never seem to be able to put it on. So that was working through. You do an even spread, you put cream cheese on both sides. It makes it delicious. And after we're done with that, we're going to go through and sprinkle a little bit of dill. You can use fresh dill. I love fresh dill, but dried dill makes a ton of sense overlanding, and it still has a ton of flavor. What kind of knives, cutlery do you all use?
Sharp ones.
Ideally. Yeah. I always like to ask, maybe in German. Besermeister's been my go-to. I've had that knife since 2004. The shape of the blade.
A dog sitter?
If you look at it, the heel has no bolster. So when you do a pinch grip, you can actually work really fine all the way to the end. A lot of chef knives on the market have a thick bolster right here. And if you're trying to cut all the way through, like say you're doing a butternut squash and you want to use the full length of the blade, when you get down here, it actually splits the squash in two instead of cutting it. Because it's got this big, thick heel on the end. Yeah, so having a thin end like this, I think is a huge benefit. And sandwiches are coming up. Adam's working away over here. Nice thick spatula. Cheese. Oh no, I'm just going through the house. Charlie? Wow.
That's good.
Thanks for coming. My name is Chef Corso, head chef and founder of Outdoor Eats. And Outdoor Eats is here to help put you on the path to tasty meals when you are going hiking, backpacking, overlanding, bike packing, kayak camping, whatever outdoor activity you're into. I want you to be able to eat well. So we are going to make two great dinner options here. We're going to make beef mango fried rice, and we're going to make Creole shepherd's pie tonight. And we're also going to make a cranberry orange crisp for dessert. All these use ingredients that are available at most grocery stores. That's the other thing about Outdoor Eats recipes. I don't want you to have to, provision it at some random store or have all these special orders online. I want you to go to the store, pack it up, get out there, and enjoy being outside. And what I did prior to our session here, because it took a little bit of time to chop, is I have some dried mango and I have some beef jerky. Just normal beef jerky. I got it at Costco a couple days ago. Okay? And I tested beef jerky on the trail multiple years ago, and I was really curious to see if I could have beef on a long haul backpacking trip. Because often it's tuna or packaged meals or those type of things. And I wanted something just a little bit different, and I really wanted that beefy experience on my hikes. And I tested it out, and it hydrated up in less than 30 minutes. I was super excited, and it was a really great way to have another option for protein on the trail and in dishes. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some water. And I'm just going to use instant rice tonight. If you have a little bit more time, you can easily use quote, quote, real rice. But instant rice is actually pretty darn good, and it cooks up in just 5 or 10 minutes, and it's a really nice option to have along when you are really, really hungry and want to eat relatively quickly. So as you can see, I've got my very scientific measuring cups here. And I get a lot of questions about measuring when you're out on the road or out on the trail. And the thing about it is, I don't necessarily, suggest that you take your measuring spoons on a backpacking trip. If you do need them for your rig camping experience, you're more than welcome to. But what I suggest a lot is add some. You can always add more. So for our pot here, I'm just going to add a lot of our flavorings right now so it can start to really get into our rice. So this is soy sauce. Can add a little bit of sriracha. Not too much because I don't want to get too spicy for everybody. Gonna add a little bit of rice vinegar. And I've got some garlic powder and ginger powder. I've also made these recipes a few times before, so I've got a pretty good idea about how much to generally add. And I like hiking and camping, so when I first went out on those trips, I would go out on my backpacking trips with my buddies into like Mount Rainier and North Cascades National Park, and I would look around and everyone was boiling water and adding it to a bag. And I was very surprised by that, because we have a burner, we had the opportunity to have a really great meal, and the packaged meals just did not do a whole lot for me. They were very salty, high in preservatives, not a whole lot of texture, and not a whole lot of flavor. And so I started testing recipes with the hiker and backpacker in mind. So again, 10 ingredients or less, ready in 30 minutes or less, mindful of that pack weight and volume and perishability. And the early results were really, really good, and I wanted to figure out a way to share that with the outdoor community. But also, the main driver for Outdoor Eats is sharing that outdoor food experience. You know, we've all been there, sitting by a river or looking at a vista or by a lake, and it's this beautiful, we drove a whole day, a couple days to get there. We hiked a long way to get to wherever that campsite is, and it's gorgeous. And you have your family and your friends there, and then you're digging to the bottom of a bag. I don't want that. That's not how I want to experience the outdoors. I want to have Creole shepherd's pie waiting for me, something to get me excited, refuel me in a better way, tuck me into my tent so I can hit the trail next day. So for me, that matters. Like, food absolutely matters. Our beef mango fried rice is done. Wow. Want to get a nice tight shot? Ooh, nice. But also smell that. So anyway, how's our beef mango fried rice? Awesome. So again, a reminder, so this was dried mango, beef jerky, instant rice, soy sauce, rice vinegar, a little bit of sriracha, garlic powder, and ground ginger. You could also add some sesame seeds. You know, we didn't add any veggies to this, but some grilled sauteed veggies would be great. Snap peas, red peppers, green onions. You could really customize it to how you like.
KC Highlights hosted the very first Battle of the Skottles on Saturday. This was an Iron Chef meets Chopped type of cooking competition. 4 amazing Overland cooks squared off in a friendly battle to see who could prepare the best meal using a surprise ingredient.
Who's ready for a battle? Yes! We got some awesome chefs here from where the Back to the Future truck is. You guys might know her. Jillian. Look at it, she's like ready to go. Yes! Got Marco, that chef right there. So I'm gonna hand it off to Christina, but then I also have a co-host and celebrity judge. Well, celebrity judge. Sorry, co-host is Regina. She's gonna be the co-host because I don't really know about food, but I'm a hype guy, so you know. She's gonna take over. Then we have the celebrity judge, Brad. And I believe Jerry's gonna be one of the other celebrity judges from Temple Tusk. And then
we are going to pick a lucky audience member to be our third judge. Oh, I like this chick over here. She looks like she's really raring to go and she really wants some food. So come on up. You're going to be our third guest judge. All right, so before we get started, just a couple logistics things. Our chefs are going to be cooking at all 4 of these Tembo Tusk stations up here. We are going to have each one of our chefs choose a station. Chefs, please choose your station.
Ladies first.
Alan.
Thank you. Got it.
Start your Skottles, chef. Start your Skottles.
Hi guys, my name's Kay Taylor. I'm Filthy Samurai on Instagram. I got the Blue Forerunner in the Rugged Radiance.
So, what is your absolute favorite thing to make at camp, Tay?
I don't know, probably salmon. I love making salmon at camp. That's probably my go-to. If that's not available, tacos.
So you're saying seafood is one of your things. Okay.
My name is Jillian Rebecca. I'm a Tacoma owner, off-road enthusiast, podcast host, Citizen J podcast. You guys all need to check that out. Yeah, just happy to be here.
All right, well, we're happy to have you. And Marco, would you like to tell us a little bit about you?
Absolutely. I'm Marco, and I learned to cook from my mom, and she was a really good cook. And I married a woman that's really good cook, so keep on practicing. And yeah.
Nice, thank you. So can I ask you, what is one ingredient you never leave home without?
Chiles.
Chilies. Okay. Well, we're excited to see what you bring us today. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please introduce our secret ingredients to our chefs? Here we go. Oh yeah. Bring it out, bring it out.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Casey Highlights is all about adventuring further and defying limits. So I thought I'd make these guys defy some limits today over here. And we've got Jerry from Tempo Test. Jerry, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I love eating as well. And squid, perfect. I judge restaurants by how good they do calamari. So I can't wait. And thank you for using the Skottle at our table.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to tell us a little bit about the Skottles that they're cooking on?
Well, Skottles, the idea comes out of South Africa. My wife is from South Africa. And so when she moved here, she had to have a Skottle. And so it came down to the point where I had to make one. And once I introduced it to the community, they adopted it. And I, again, appreciate that. But it's a South African idea, and they cook breakfast, lunch, dinner on it. And I think the Americans have taken it a step or two further, and they actually use it for gourmet cooking. So I'm excited to see what comes out of this.
So Jillian, what ingredients have you chosen and what is your strategy?
We're making it up as we go along. Yeah, I don't know. This is like the one ingredient. We had a couple of options that I didn't want to cook, so we're gonna see how this goes.
I'm sure it's gonna be awesome. Marco,
Yes.
I'm not gonna ask you. You've never had a
Oh yeah, I have.
What?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
There's
You
a
tell.
few things that I have to that I wanted to cook, and Brad wouldn't eat it. So
Do tell, what would my husband not eat? He's hiding.
well, I tried to give him menudo one time. He said no. Yeah, a couple other things.
So that's not really a cooking fail on your part. I mean, it could have been the most wonderful thing ever. My husband just refused to eat it. What did you decide to bring with you?
It's a secret.
Was it a sauce, a spice? Was it... What do we got? What do we got?
Okay, we got it's a Mexican mix that I make with lettuce and some chiles and
Okay.
yeah.
All right, well, we'll see. Jill. Yeah. You were allowed to bring a secret ingredient. What did you choose?
I brought straight from Birmingham, Alabama. We have comeback sauce.
Oh, okay. I have no idea what that is, but I'm very excited to try it.
Can I borrow your oil?
Yeah, okay. Oh, look at that. Teamwork, sharing. I love it.
There you go.
Hey, man, that's what it's all about, right? That's how we get through half this stuff.
Why are you not doing it now?
So do we have a theme to your dish over here, Kay?
I don't know, not yet. I'm thinking maybe an
Asian theme. Okay.
Everybody's doing a little different.
It smells amazing. It really does smell amazing over here. If you guys aren't close enough to get a whiff, you should try to come a little closer in the crowd over here. It smells amazing by these Skottles. And Marco is running back and forth. All right, Marco, so what is your dish going to be?
It's just calamari fried and on a bed of lettuce and a special sauce mix that I made.
Awesome, that looks good.
Since I don't have a tortilla.
You mentioned that more than once. No tortillas. I think Marco's a little disappointed. You know, I kind of did that on purpose.
I'm gonna start bringing tortillas in my wallet.
Marco's never gonna be friends with me again.
Órale, enséñame tu
That is the one requirement we have. Surprise!
Line is going on. It looks like you're pretty close to being finished, dude. Is that right?
I'm done.
You're done.
I'm done.
Whoa.
It's quick.
Yeah, let's eat and go wheeling.
Is your squid finished?
Squid is finished.
Squid is finished. It looks good. We still got some chives on the counter there.
Yep, come together.
Look, everyone is different.
We're going to really highlight the natural squid flavors for you. And we'll fry this up and make the best calamari here.
Awesome. You're really just beating it, aren't you?
I have no idea what I'm doing.
You totally know what you're doing. It smells good. We got some soy sauce, and then you mix it with some...
I make it into like a little stir fry. So
We'll see how it goes.
This is a good smell over here, Jerry.
We are lucky to be judges.
Yeah, I think.
I cannot wait.
Seriously. Did you get a whiff? Did you get a whiff of this, Tracy?
Yeah. You just got to. Oh yeah.
That smells good, Alan.
Thank you.
And you brought your own little bowls. How cute is that? Amazing.
I hope it tastes good.
Alan, I am a little excited to try Alan because I love anything that has the word crunch in it. Or if it has crunch.
I don't know if there's something pretty I can plate it on. I was just looking.
No, that's the plate.
That looks good.
I'm going to.
I think this is going to be tough. We were just kind of talking a second ago. It's going to be hard because they all smell really good, but they're so very, very different.
So one more time, our judges are going to be looking for presentation, creativity of ingredient use, and obviously taste.
Present it well, Marco.
Unbutton 2 or 3 buttons.
Hey guys.
I mean, I wouldn't mind that.
So it's part of your presentation, right? It's like the communal plate.
Exactly, that's how we eat it when we
I'm
go out
Baptist.
camping.
We do that with the...
Scallion iron is fried and batter. And I got the repollo.
Red cabbage.
Red cabbage with strawberries and mayonnaise.
Okay.
And a little chilies for the crispy.
All right, judges, are you ready?
Make sure you have some of that.
Now, do we put that on it, the toppings, or what's the best way to top this? Like this?
Yep.
Forgive me, I'm a very white woman when it comes to eating.
So Margo,
I don't cook. I just eat whatever's put in front of me, and this is, wow, extravagant.
Great, now the pressure's on me.
I know. You're screwed.
I bring her here now, I gotta cook better. You have some of that.
The face definitely says it all. She looks like she's in
Like it's running down my throat, and it's just like... Okay,
flavor explosion.
I'm a very white woman. This is amazing. This is amazing. Yeah.
Marco, tell me what's the cabbage, buddy? Talk about that for a
It's
second.
very spicy. It's good.
It's repollo in Spanish.
Repollo.
Yeah.
Which that means what in English?
red cabbage.
Right, but what's the sauce?
Sriracha,
Sriracha?
mayonnaise,
Mayo?
and lime. That's it.
So it's like a Mexican coleslaw.
That's it.
Okay. I gotta say, he's definitely got the color going on, for sure.
I'm gonna have
All right, here we go. Brad's digging in.
Come on, Brad, I'm starving.
Hurry, Jerry's gonna bite my arm off.
Man.
All right, a little
Yeah, you better guard that fork. She might come in for another bite.
right?
Yeah, you might want to use a spoon. It's good.
Don't tell me.
It's kind of an adventure.
First of all, the squid is very tender. I like the crunch on there, but the spice that comes with the cabbage and the crunch of the cabbage, oh, that's good, Jerry. You gotta get in there, buddy.
I will.
I am a
We'll
spicy
bring it over
lover.
here.
That was amazing.
All right, here we go. Jerry from Tempo Test, what do you think of Marco's dish?
Wipe it on my pants, bro.
Everyone else is gonna be cold. No fair.
I would eat in his restaurant.
So Alan, tell us a little bit about the dish that you have prepared for our judges.
So I was thinking what would be fast, easy to transport. One of the concerns today was the tenderness of the squid. So I had to fly in the ramen from Kyoto, Japan. This was on Amazon, but I just wanted to be able to throw it together without stress. But Marco beat me. It looks like he was super relaxed. But just flavors, crunch, tenderness. I actually didn't season the squid because I wanted you to have the pure flavor of the squid, right? And I sauteed it in garlic actually at the end. Decided to put that little thing in there.
I can smell that.
All right.
Very good presentation.
Oh. How much is squid in the store? Is that expensive?
Are you thinking you want to start making squid?
Yeah.
All right.
And a jar of chili.
You gotta be careful with
Brad,
the
what do
roux.
you think? What do you think of the dish that Alan has prepared for us?
That's
So what you guys don't realize is when we're filming at camp, there's always this long pause when I'm chewing. That's got a little kick, my friend.
It does. I was about to pour a big old glob on there, but it doesn't need it. It doesn't need it.
I am a huge ramen junkie. I eat ramen all the time, and that with the squid, that chili sauce. I mean, it's good. It's not. I'm not like on fire, but it hit me, and I was like,
It's
oh
just
yeah,
right.
That's just right. I'm gonna take a bite of that.
I'm eating the whole bowl.
And let me tell you,
Again.
Brad makes a mean ramen.
Another restaurant I would eat at. No, it's like somebody came to take the plate away. No, you will have holes in your hand.
Jill, you want to tell us a little bit about what you have prepared for our judges today?
I went real simple, real old school, just trying to do a take on calamari. I have never done this before, so. But we really wanted to just make the calamari shine, the squid shine. So, but you definitely want to taste it with the comeback sauce.
Oh, yeah. This is too much.
Tracy, you okay?
Yeah.
You want to tell us Tracy's
Yeah.
diving on Tracy wants all of our judges to open a restaurant at the end of the day. All right, Brad.
Let's start stalking y'all.
I was already going in for my second bite. That is really tasty, really tender, and the crunch.
I'm afraid of it.
That's fried up really well. And that sauce.
She's right. The
that sauce
makes
is outstanding. You know what? I think one of the toughest things to cook is calamari. If you ever get it in a restaurant, 9 out of 10 times it's tough as can be.
None of this
and
is like
all
that.
of them have been delicious.
All perfect.
Thank you.
This is the best thing I've ever done in my life.
Tracy just said this is the best thing she's ever done in her life.
I told you, I'm very
All right, okay. I did onions, garlic, tomatoes, bell peppers, and then squid.
And I smelled it when you were cooking it, so you actually used sesame oil instead of the regular.
So I used a little bit of both. A little bit of both. The sesame oil gave it a little kick, and then I also used it.
Nice.
Let's do it. You didn't even have to explain it for it to sound that good.
All right, so we are going to need our judges to make some decisions now about which dish they think was their favorite.
This is going to be so hard.
Oh my gosh.
There's nothing to say. I mean, it's amazing.
Tracy
It's
said nothing
like
to
it's
say.
very stir fry. It has that flavor, and you nailed it. Like it's so good.
This, God, chefs, you guys did amazing. This is going to be difficult. That is delicious. There's a lot of flavor going on there. This is
All
gonna be hard.
combined to be really good, right?
This is going to be hard.
Yeah, I've never been a judge. Now I understand why. It will be difficult. Delicious. There's not one of them that's not good.
Oh.
You know, on those shows, there's always those knuckleheads that are like the big critics, and they tell them what they did wrong. Chef, I don't see anything wrong with anything on these plates.
You could have done just the cabbage, and I would have been like, yeah.
Great presentation. The flavors are incredible. We have a hard task ahead of us judges.
yeah. What did you think was the most challenging part of the competition today?
I think it's the unknown of it's just an ingredient that I've never worked with before, so there's just a ton of insecurity when you're stepping out and creating, and you don't even know how to cook the main ingredient, right? But I may have kind of stolen some ideas from Alan.
Hey, we're all friends here. It's all about sharing, right? And Alan, what did you think was the most difficult, challenging part of the competition today?
I think part of it was like time, like how much time I would have. I was afraid I was going to run out of time because you watch all those shows and they always run out of time, you know. But I think just getting here and just getting out and letting go that I have to make it a certain way and just having fun with it. So it's more of a mind thing, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. All of our chefs came in well under time too, which was awesome. No, well, I mean, some of them were more stressed than others. Marco over here was lounging in a chair by the last 20 minutes of the competition. So Marco, it didn't look like you thought that anything was challenging, but did you in fact find any part of this challenging today?
Yeah, not having tortillas.
Here I go again. I am never going to live that down.
Let it go, Marco. Let it go.
I can't. Well, no, I was born, I had a tortilla breakfast.
I believe that.
No, it was tough. These guys are good. And presentation. I get nervous. So
Sure.
I do.
You have absolutely no need to be nervous, Marco.
Not only did it showcase how many different ways you use the ingredients, I know.
And again, I love how easy they made everything.
Okay, that's 1, 2. What's the third option?
So taste was out. Presentation. Creative.
First of all, I think I can say from all the judges that all the plates chefs were incredible. You all did an amazing job with very short notice. So a big round of applause. I think
You guys were awesome.
We would be all honored to have those meals again at camp. So nice job.
So full too. Gosh. So good.
Tay, please step forward.
Gosh.
Oh, gosh.
Can you tell my husband's watched a few cooking shows?
I gotta practice. Your stir fry with the calamari was delicious. And we awarded you the best in the creative category. Thank you very much, Chef. Jillian, please step forward. Trying to be stoic. You can't do that. You can't do it.
We're going to Top Gun.
Is that better? Is that the look?
We loved the simplicity of your calamari and the sauce, but we thought your presentation was the best. Very well done, Chef. Alan, please step forward. Turning the hat around, getting serious. I know you came into this a little apprehensive. My friend, your meal was delicious. And I think we all were a little raising an eyebrow when we saw the noodles come out. But when we all took our first bite, there was no doubt it had the best in taste. Thank you very much, Chef. Marco, my brother, there is no favoritism here. We have enjoyed many of your meals. I have enjoyed, Jerry has enjoyed, and now Tracy has enjoyed your delicious meals.
More than I
Brother, you were finished first and kicking back with your feet up in the chair while everybody else was still working because it comes so naturally to you. Overall, yours was our favorite meal. Thank you, Chef. Great job, Chef, and a big thanks to Casey Highlights for putting this on. I've been coming to Expo for years, and this is the most fun I've had in a long time. Nice job, guys.
Thank you so much, chefs.
You wanted to come over and check out the lights that I bought at last year's Expo.
Yeah, so obviously you came by a couple, that was 2022, I guess,
Yeah,
right?
last year, yeah.
Yeah, and so there was a pretty significant transformation that I know you talked about it, and so I was never able to see it. And so now that everything's been installed from last year's Expo, I wanted to come take a look. Those are the
gravity
LEDs,
right.
The 7-inch bucket. Yep.
And then I got the fog lights.
Those are also the gravity 4-inch fog lights. Yeah.
And then the ditch lights, which are the spot. I wanted the lighting package to complement each other. I hate it when headlights are dim and the fog lights are bright, and you know I wanted the temperature to all be the same.
Yeah.
So what you sold me, it's perfect.
Are you happy with it?
I love it.
Good. I love how you ended up tying all the strobing systems in, so you can use them as dust lights, you can use them as forward-facing marker lights, all that kind of stuff. For us at KC, what we love about the Cyclone is that it can be used in 100 different scenarios, right? And it was meant to be a light that there isn't necessarily a path already created for people to use it, right?
Okay.
It's like you can take it and use it for all these different crazy ideas that anybody has, right? This, prime example, this is a little bit more on brand, on target, right? We've had people literally use them on their dogs. And so if their dog's running out in the field, they can know where their dog is.
Well, because
So
initially,
stuff like
I think they were marketed or designed to be rock lights underneath.
Yep.
And that was my thought was like, do I want them underneath to illuminate the ground?
Yep.
Or should I put them up higher and get more? And I'm glad I went up higher.
Yeah, I agree. It's a beautiful setup. The whole Jeep is very well built. So, yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Heck
All right.
yeah. Beautiful rig.